Today we're going to be checking out one of my most anticipated cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and that's Phone Rebel's Gen 6 case. Now, I've used the Gen cases on my past two iPhones and absolutely loved them. They held up really well, and I actually have both of them right here for comparison to the brand new Gen 6. And a bonus for this case is it does come with a tempered glass screen protector, and I will be doing a drop and a scratch test to see how durable this brand new screen protector is for this year, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video. So if you're looking for a nice rugged case that will offer your phone some good drop protection while keeping your phone somewhat slim, I would definitely recommend going with the Phone Rebel Gen case. So there is the case itself. And like I mentioned before, it does come with a tempered glass screen protector, which again we will be installing. Now, one of the main differences between the Gen 5 and the Gen 6 screen protector is the fact that the Gen 5 screen protector had a 2.75D curvature for their tempered glass, while this year it's got a 2.5D curvature, so it's a little less of a curvature on their screen. So we'll see again how this stacks up in the drop and the scratch test. But here is the case itself. Looks really nice. It's got aramid fiber on the back, feels nice and smooth, and it keeps down those fingerprints. We also have a little metal insert on the bottom here that you can swap out for other colors, as well as a lanyard that actually fits in the bottom there. We do have a metal camera ring around our cameras for some extra protection there too. It also does have metal power and volume and action buttons on the side. Here, as you can see, these are pretty flat. We've got some texturing on the side to help with grip, and on the inside it's got kind of like a microfiber kind of feel to it, and it also has a really cool pattern too. Now you can see that there is some screws on the inside. That's another really cool thing about this case is it's modular. You can take out this camera ring if you don't want this one. You can put in a beefier one, a different color one, and that goes for the buttons as well. You can also change out the buttons for different colors to totally customize this case. Now the case also does have some TPU shock bumpers on the inside, which you can see in the blue there. That also helps with drop protection as well. Now before we put the phone inside the case, I do want to bring out the Gen 5 and the Gen 4 cases. Now both of these cases have been used for a straight year, and as you can see, they've held up pretty well. There's really not any damage. There's maybe some, you can see the use on the aramid fibers where that MagSafe ring is, but for the most part, these have held up really well. Now there's a drastic change between the 4, the 5, and the 6, where as you can see on the 4, there's really no texture on the side, but for the Gen 5 and the 6, they've added these little bumps for texture, which I absolutely love. So here again is the Gen 5, and here's the Gen 6. You can see that they almost look the same. There are some subtle differences. One mainly, if we look at the back here, they've got these little kind of bumps that come up on the bottom of the case, whereas the Gen 6, they've gotten rid of those and it's totally flat. I actually like these little bumps because when you put your phone on its backing, the aramid fiber isn't really touching anything, whereas the Gen 6 case doesn't have that, so it might be more prone to scratching and things like that if you put your case down on something, but we do still have that camera bump to kind of give it a little raised edge. And also you can see that those TPU bumpers are present in the Gen 5 as well as the Gen 6 in the same spot, and we do have some different texturing between the 5 and the 6 as well. So let's put our phone inside the case here. Fits the phone really well. It's not going to come out. Buttons, nice and clicky, very easily pressable. I love it. It also does feel good in the hand. It's got kind of like a smooth rubber feel to it. The texturing on the side does help with grip. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that we do have a slight raised edge in the middle of the case, but more of a raised edge around those corners. So I think even with the tempered glass screen protector on here, you should still have a nice raised edge. But again, I will be installing the screen protector in just a minute. You can also see that it doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either, which is great. You can see the texture on the side. It's pretty nice. The flat volume buttons with that action button, again, those are all metal. On the bottoms, we've got our cutouts. On the other side, we have our metal power button, and we have a cutout for our camera button that is kind of shallow. Again, we'll be testing that out in just a second. On the back, again, shows off that aramid fiber. Feels really nice. Nice and smooth, keeps down those fingerprints, and we also have a good raised edge around our camera lenses. I love the fact that this is all metal as well. Looks really nice. Now this case does also have MagSafe built in, so we'll take our MagSafe power bank here, put it onto the bottom, clips into place, charges your phone immediately, and it's got a pretty good strong hold on the back as well. You don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off the phone. Pretty nice. So it's looking like a really nice case so far. I'm going to switch out these buttons just to show you guys how easy it is to swap these out. And we're also probably going to change out this camera ring as well. Now I do have some accessories here from the Gen 5, and I believe that the Gen 5 and the Gen 6 accessories are interchangeable, but we're going to find out exactly if that's true. I've got some camera rings here, as well as some buttons that we're going to be swapping out. And you can get all these accessories from the Phone Rebel website as well. A lot of different colors and metal choices. I think I'm going to be using a orange power button and some gunmetal volume and action buttons, kind of like the other ones. So you've got silver, they've got orange, they've got gunmetal, they've got gold. They've got pretty much a color for everybody's needs here. So we've got that. All right, so to take out all of our buttons, take your phone out of the case first. And then to pop out this little thing here, all you need to do is kind of press inward and it'll pop out inside. I would definitely recommend getting like some sort of a plastic piece, like a pick. Don't use anything metal. And we'll just kind of press this in. It makes things a lot easier. And there it just pops right out. Then to put in the new one, all you need to do is take the new one there and press it in from the inside. And there you go, you're all set. It's very subtle, but you can see the difference there between the black and this kind of gunmetal color right there. I like subtle. I don't like a huge contrast, maybe except for my orange power button here. So now to do the buttons, you pretty much do the same thing. I would probably take a pick and just kind of press that button into your case, and it just comes out just like that. And then we'll take our new one and press it from the inside out. So there's our new power button. I do like the way that these look. It's got kind of like a rounded piece with a little indentation on the inside versus just the flat buttons that it comes with. We'll do the same thing for the other side. And there you go. It's just that simple. So now you can see that they're gunmetal instead of the black pieces that the phone came with, and they're also rounded off. I think that looks a lot better. So now that we have our buttons changed out, I'm going to change out the camera lens protector to this gunmetal versus the black that's on the phone. Again, it's very subtle, but you can see that there is a difference. So now that I have the camera ring off, we can take a look at the Gen 5 camera ring, and you can see there is a slight difference, whereas there's a large notch on the top here, and there's not on the Gen 6, but there are these two little notches on the side here where there isn't on the Gen 5. So this may or may not fit, but we're going to find out. I'm going to try installing my camera ring kind of like this, with the notches on the side instead of up and down. We'll see if that makes a difference. Did seem like the holes might be lining up now. And you don't have to make these screws super tight either, as you don't want to strip them. And there we go. So it does seem like the Gen 5 camera ring does fit. Looks pretty good to me. Nice and solid. So let's put our phone back inside the case and we'll see what that looks like. All right, so as far as the buttons are still nice and clicky, very easily pressable. You can see I changed that to orange and these to the gunmetal, as well as the camera ring on the back. And I don't see any issues with the Gen 5 camera ring on the Gen 6. It seems to fit perfect. You can see how much of a raised edge we get around those cameras for some extra protection there. I think that looks really nice. Got the gunmetal Rebel logo, camera lens, as well as the volume buttons, and just the power button has the orange accent. Very cool. So it does look like the Gen 5 camera ring does work on the Gen 6. Not too bad. So now let's test out our camera button. So you got to kind of get your finger to go inside this little hole here to access that camera button. So you're holding it like this, put your finger. You can get your finger in there. It's a little tough, not too bad. So let's test out our touch gestures. And touch gestures seem to be working perfectly. Yep, no problems there. So it does seem to work pretty good with the camera button. Very nice. All right, so looking good so far. Now let's install the tempered glass screen protector. So with the tempered glass, we do get an installation packet, but we don't get a guide to install the tempered glass. So what I would recommend doing is leaving the Gen 6 case on your phone to use as an installation guide. So the first thing we need to do is to clean off our screen with the alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then use your dust sticker to remove any dust. Then take your screen protector, making sure that this number 1 is on the underside of the tempered glass. We'll put our guide stickers down on the screen protector. So your screen protector should look like this. So then we're going to peel off the underside of the screen protector and then hold on to your guide stickers to install the screen protector. And then it should start to adhere to your phone. It also doesn't matter which way you install the screen protector because it's equal all the way around. So we do have like a slight bubble here, but it looks like it's going away. Okay, but we do have a little bubble there. Not too bad. You can see on the screen there's just a little bubble in the corner here. So what I'm going to do is try to squeegee that out. All right, so I was able to get that little bubble out by gently lifting up on the screen using the squeegee. I do have a couple pieces of dust that got stuck underneath the screen. It's not the screen protector's fault, and it's not horrible, but here, as you can see, there is a pretty good gap all the way around the phone for case compatibility. So this screen protector should even work with other cases as well. It does have a good rounded edge. As far as the touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As you can see, it is crystal clear. This is also a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover your camera and your sensors. So we'll test that out. As far as fingerprints, it does pick up some fingerprints on the screen, but you can very easily just wipe those away. So let's test out our Face ID. Face ID working perfectly fine. As you can see, the screen is nice and clear. Touch working fine, no issues. So now let's take a look at the screen as if you're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So as you can see, there is a slight rainbow effect. If you're looking at it straight on, you really can't see it, but if you turn the screen, that's when the rainbow gets a little worse. But again, if you're looking at it pretty much right on the phone, you really don't see any effect, so not too bad. And let's put it back in our case here. See how much of a raised edge we get. So if we take a look at it from the side, you can see now that the case is pretty flush with the front screen, but we still do get those raised edges in the corner. And that's really nice because when you're swiping left and right, you don't have to worry about the edges of the case getting in the way, and you can still very easily swipe up from the bottom of the phone. It works really well. And as you can see, even with the case, there's still a slight gap all the way around the phone. So this screen protector should be pretty much compatible with every case that is out there because it does leave a pretty good gap all the way around the phone. All right, so now it's time to test out how durable this screen protector is with a scratch in the drop test. So last year's Gen 5 screen protector lasted up until a 2-foot drop. So this year we're going to see how Gen 6 stacks up. We're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, I'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go at 2 feet. 2 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 2-foot drop, so there doesn't seem to be any improvement on drop protection versus the Gen 5 and this year's Gen 6. But let's move on to the scratch test. So regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a Mohs hardness number 6, so we're going to start off our test with the number 5. And we'll move on to a number 6, and then finally a number 7. So if we take a closer look, we can see that there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and a little deeper at a number 7. So scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was pretty easy. It could have been better with a guide, but typically you don't get a guide when you get a screen protector included with your case. It's also case friendly. It lasted up until a 2-foot drop, and scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So as you saw, there were some tweaks versus Gen 5 and the Gen 6, mostly in the corners on the back here where there are no raised edges. It's just all nice and smooth now. I do see some people complaining in the reviews that there wasn't a camera button included. They just did a cutout. It's not a huge deal to me. Because you want to make sure that the button has the same sensitivity as the button that was actually on the phone. And some of the case manufacturers are able to do that, but sometimes it's not, it's like hit and miss. So for me, I don't really care that there's a cutout. I just need it to actually work with your finger, and the phone rebel cutout seems to do the job pretty good. I absolutely love the fact that you can customize the phone to your liking, where you can change out the buttons as well as the camera lens on the back. And again, they also do have a really rugged camera lens as well that you can put on the back here. Hoping that Phone Rebel releases that fairly soon so I can make a review for you guys. But this does seem to be a really nice case for this year. Like I said, I've been using this for the past 2 years on my past 2 iPhones straight, and they've held up really well, and I've absolutely had no damage to my phone when it happens to drop from my lap. So definitely a really nice case. If you guys want to pick this up yourself, I will be putting product links in the video description. And if you guys enjoyed the video, it would really help out the channel if you gave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.